requirement is a sense of responsibility. That is the primary qualification. If a person is responsible, very responsible in his nature, then we can award this second initiation. If then additionally he has knowledge of the scriptures, then that will help him to understand better what his responsibility is. Thus, knowledge is certainly an important factor. But knowledge alone is not enough. One can be very learned, but if one doesn't have that sense of responsibility in one's behavior to act according to prescribed duty, then all the learning, what is the benefit? One may know so many slokas, a slok for every occasion, wonderful, it's a great asset. But take it like this. Imagine we take a cookbook, and yes, we have a devotee in the temple who has memorized 100 recipes. And it is, yes, it is wonderful for parties and festivals to bring this devotee forward, and amazing enough, can quote so many recipes. A pinch of salt and a little grated ginger, and so on. And everyone goes, wow, how can you remember all this? This is amazing. 100 preps, who can remember? What amazing that he memorized it all. It entertains us for 5 minutes, but we are more interested in the person who can perfectly cook 10 preparations from the cookbook, if you know what I mean. That's more substantial. Thus, those who live the scriptures are more important than those who merely memorize the scriptures. The scriptures are meant to be applied. Then one is qualified to receive the encouragement of Brahminical initiation, which means a beginning. It is interesting with these initiations, I was thinking about the other day, that we already act one level above the level where we are. When we are not initiated yet, we have to act as if we are initiated for some time. And only then will we qualify for initiation. After we've received first initiation, we have to immediately start acting according to the level of a Brahmana. So it's like from the first initiation on, you have to basically act. There's a new focus. Before the initiation, the focus was somehow or other I have to be on the level of 16 rounds and 4 regulative principles, and I have to hang in there. I don't know how, but I have to, and I'm doing, and then I qualify for initiation, and now I got it. Right? No. Now it begins. Now immediately, one must, from the day of the first initiation, one must act like a Brahmana. And from the day of receiving the Brahminical initiation, one has to act like a pure devotee. No, that is the next level. It takes a little practice. Sometimes we slip out of our role. It does happen. Sometimes we say things that maybe shouldn't be said. My mother used to tell stories, and one story I particularly liked about 2 princesses, and one, when she spoke, roses would come from the mouth, and the other one, frogs. And in our case, as we are being transformed, so mostly roses, yes, Prabhu, Hare Krishna, Prabhu, said my religion, but every once in a while, the inadvertent frog jumps out of our mouth. So, so we must be attentive. Thus, if we are not yet on the platform of pure devotional service all the time, then we retreat on the level of the mode of goodness. Below it cannot go. And then again, from there we try and reach up to pure devotional service, again and again. This is our. This is how a Vaishnava is engaged in Varnashram. We are Vaishnava, not Brahmins, but still we use the Brahminical initiation as a means to develop the qualities of a Brahmana. At least that's the minimum. That's not the level where one can stay. That's sort of, all right, minimum level, rest level. But pure devotee is now the meditation, and is now what is required. Nothing less. That's actually the meaning. It may have been taken a little cheap at times, and one may think, well, that in this lecture I'm maybe overemphasizing the meaning of Brahminical initiation. But that is not a fact. That is not a fact. Because Brahminical initiation means one has to act in knowledge. And knowledge means it means pure devotional service. Anyone who is acting differently is ignorant. Is just covered by lust. His knowledge is lost. He's covered. So we are looking for this platform. And pure devotional service is not cheap. It has a high price. It has a price of making a special endeavor. That is what I want. But in the mode of goodness, not a special endeavor in the mode of passion. A special endeavor in the mode of passion is where we push ourselves to the breaking point, or where we push ourselves to perform very high, and then reactions from exhaustion or whatever cause, and that bring us to a low. No. Pure devotional service must be on a level that can be maintained. It must be maintained. Thus we must learn to pace ourselves in spiritual life so we can maintain a high level of surrender. It is for those who are courageous. It is for those who are ready to be different. It is for those who are ready to be different than most others. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada said that first initiation must be given generously. When there is an interest, must be given. But second initiation must be given reluctantly. It must be given reluctantly. It must not be given very easily. One has to very much endeavor. So the thread will constantly remind us of the grave responsibility. Well, with this lecture, I have specifically made the main focus of my discussion responsibility.